driven innovation and efficiency in data management across various industries. Right? So this is a brief introduction of our keynote speaker, of our distinguished speaker. And today he will be taking this data extraction and pre-processing, mainly highlighting on first introducing to data extraction, introduction to data extraction. Then how do we prepare data for analysis? Now, how do we clean the data, handling missing values, transforming and normalizing data, and converting raw data into formats suitable for machine learning models for further analysis. So I will not be taking much time. Now I'll be handing over this platform to Mr. Shahraan Hussain for very interesting session on data extraction and pre-processing. Sir, it's all
Yeah,
yours, platform. Thank you.
thank you, ma'am. So first thing first, I'll share my screen. Yeah. So I hope this screen is visible to you all.
Yes, yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. Yeah. So hello, myself Shahraan Hussain. So today's topic would be data extraction and pre-processing. Okay. So the content that I would be covering up is like an introduction to data extraction, why data extraction is important for ML and AI, data extraction tools and sample codes will also be shared. Okay. Preparing data for analysis, cleaning the data, handling missing values, transforming and normalizing data, converting raw data into format suitable for ML and AI model. So, uh, what is data extraction? Okay, so data extraction is a retrieval of raw data from various sources. Okay, majorly there are three various sources, like different sources. First is database, the second one is file, and the third one is websites. Okay, and what will we do with this data extraction? We make it into a structured form. Okay, and then it is used for analysis, processing, and decision making. Okay, so which all fields requires this structured data? The fields are like business intelligence, machine learning, artificial intelligence. Like these are the major fields where it is being used. Okay, so data are of three types. The first one is structured data, the second one is semi-structured data, and the third one is unstructured data, as you can see. So what is structured data? Okay, so data that is highly organized, okay, and which has predefined model or schema that fit where it fits, okay, then it is called as a structured data. Okay, typically it is into row or column or something. Okay, so the best example for it is MySQL, CSV file, spreadsheet. These are the structured data. Okay, and it is very useful. Like it is easy in searching, processing, and analyzing. The second one is semi-structured data. So what are the semi-structured data? Data that has some organizational structure but doesn't conforms to rigid model. Okay, it doesn't have any rigid model. Like for example, in structured data, if you have any experience of MySQL or something, so you can like in MySQL, some columns have suppose it has some integer value. So integer value of 64-bit is defined, integer value of 32-bit is defined, float value of 64-bit is defined. So these have some kind of schema that is defined there. Okay, but here in semi-structured data, these kind of schema is not defined properly. Okay, it's just kind of a key value pair kind of thing. Like for example, JSON is the best example for it. Okay, it also contains tag markers to separate data elements. Okay, like in XML or in HTML, we have tag like p tag for paragraph. Okay, so this is there. The third one is unstructured data. Okay, so, what is unstructured data? Data that doesn't have any structure or organization, that is called as unstructured data. Okay, so it could be a textual data or it could be multimedia that contains doesn't fit nearly into traditional database. Okay, this is the thing. So the best example for it is like text documents, emails, social media posts, audio files, images, videos. Okay. Now, why data extraction is important for machine learning, okay, and AI? So, suppose you are searching, like I'll take one example. You are searching for a mobile phone, okay, gaming mobile phone onto Flipkart or any e-commerce platform which is driven by AI or which is supported by AI. So what thing you would search for? You would search for a bigger screen, higher RAM capacity, more number of cores onto the CPU. Okay, number of CPUs should be high, like number of cores, and then the fourth one is the GPU should be relevant, like it should be good one. So once you are searching for these four parameters, and you have also defined some specific company, like for example, take Samsung as an example. Okay, so what the system will get to know, like, okay, the person he is searching for four dominant things. These four dominant things comes under high performance mobile. Now this high performance mobile would be mostly it would be a gaming mobile. Okay, so it will give you the result filter result of Samsung only, but in suggestion sections it will start reflecting you Vivo or some iQOO, Vivo, and different mobile brands also, which have similar configurations and are for gaming purpose. Okay. Now the second most important part is quality data drives accuracy. Now think of some ML model where you are training it. Okay, so if you are training that ML model with some distorted image or low quality image, like for example, if you are training a ML model for identifying cat, okay, yeah. So what will happen? Yeah. So what will happen is like if the image is not defined, its boundary is not defined. Okay, it's something distorted. So what will happen? Like once you'll train your model, and after training, once you'll see the output. So whenever you give even a sitting dog as an input, it will give you as a cat as a output. Okay, so things are not defined or things are not very clearly defined to it. So data accuracy is very much important in machine learning or AI. Okay, now, these days, you must have heard of autonomous vehicles, like they are working right now. There are cars that is having capacity of self parking itself. It has the ability to identify person. It has the ability to identify animals. Okay, they have self braking system. So, in these very scenarios, if you implement something which is not that much accurate, then there could be a chances of accident. Third thing is big data. So bigger OTT platforms like for example Netflix, Amazon, they are they are relying on these days on big data. So what do they rely on? They rely on user behavior, rating, preferences. Like take an example, like for example, you are more inclined towards science fiction movie and you have a subscription of Netflix or Amazon, any of these. Okay. And uh, your history contains 60% of science fiction movies. Okay, so what these OTT platforms will do, they'll start reflecting you the upcoming science fiction movie or maybe the past one which you haven't seen yet. Okay, so they'll start giving you suggestion in the similar way. Okay, the third one is real time data for decision making. This is very important. So these days some of the companies are what they are doing, like they are assisting stock market, like the stock brokers with real time data. Okay, so suppose a person is relying on AI based stock decision, like a stock price decision. Okay, like what would be the price, or maybe should I buy this particular stock, should I buy this particular share. So what things that it take care of in real time is like news article, social media, sentiment analysis. Okay, um, market fluctuation. Okay, social media sentiment analysis. It is taking care of all the things. Like suppose there is some big CEO or someone else. Okay, who is who has given some kind of a statement on social media. Okay, and that is not accepted. Okay, by the society. So what will happen, it may hamper his stock, it may hamper his company's stock. Or maybe if you consider news article. Okay, so suppose government has uh, made some policy, new policy, regarding renewable energy or more inclination toward the renewable energy. So what will happen? So the price of that stock of that particular area, so like for example solar system design company or some wind power design company, so these company stock price will definitely will be high. So what this AI system will do, it will scrape the data into real time and it will extract it and it will give you the suggestion. Okay, so there are multiple popular tools for data extraction. A few of them are like pandas, then again request. Pandas is mostly used for CSV and Excels. Okay, request is used for web scraping, though web scraping has tons of tools. Like for example, request, Selenium, Puppeteer, Playwright, Scrapy, and many more. Okay, there are some also hybrid kind of scraping tools are also available right now these days. Then for SQL, you can use SQLite. Okay, for no SQL, you can use PyMongo. Okay, so these are the popular tools. So there's a sample code. I've just mentioned it. This is for reading CSV or Excel file. Okay, so I'll give you example here. Uh, so this is the sample code lectures. Yeah, this one. So this is the example code here. So this example code is for reading a Excel file. So first we move on to Excel file. This is the Excel file. So this Excel file contains four columns. Okay, student name, contact number, email, and institution name. You can see there are four entries. Okay, out of which one is repetitive in nature. Okay, both of them are same. So what I'll do with this Python is like I'll read this particular in this method, I'll read this particular Excel file. Okay. So first thing is like I'll clear it out. I'll run this code. I'll run this code. I can see the code is like the code can read the Excel sheet very easily. Okay. There are two ways to read. If it is a Excel.xls format, then you can use read Excel. If it is a CSV format, then you can write it as df is equals to pd dot read CSV and then the file name, whatever file name like xyz dot CSV kind of thing. Okay, so like this you can do and you can comment out this one. Okay, either of these two. So right now this is working, so we should keep it like this. Okay, okay. So where are we? We are here. So now we dive deep into the web scraping. Now, what is web scraping? Web scraping is very important these days. You must have heard of TikTok being scraping at very rapid speed or very large chunk of data has been extracted from internet. Okay. So what is web scraping? Web scraping is a automated method used to extract large amount of data from website. Now, take an example. Okay, I'll give you example first, then I'll explain you what is this web scraping. So, suppose this is a website. Okay, so this website contains total 1,000 results. 1,000 results are there onto this particular page, out of which one page contains 20 entries. Now, if I'll ask you to make a Excel sheet or make a JSON or make whatever suits you, okay, make something that has a book title, okay, book price, and the stock, whether it is available in stock or not. Okay, so how much time will you take to write down these 20 entries? Okay, if I consider 8 seconds each, like if you'll copy this thing and paste it somewhere, then again you'll come up and you'll copy this thing, paste somewhere, copy this thing, paste. It will take 8 seconds for you. So how much time did you consume? You consumed 8 into 6, 20. Okay, so it's near about 160 seconds. That's near about 3 minutes, I'll say. Okay, so you are consuming 3 minutes to write down this data. Now suppose you need to train your ML or AI model, okay, something you need to train it somewhere. So from where would you grab this kind of data? How do you grab, like, if I'll tell you you need to extract 10 millions of data, so how much time will it take for you, for a normal human, or for a team of human? It will take a month for them, or maybe 3 months for them, okay? But if I'll say this bot can perform the same thing in 8 or 24 hours, so is it a time saving thing? Yeah, definitely it is. It's a time saving thing, first thing. Second thing, it is very efficient for an organization to implement, okay? And it will be like, it will give the output very rapidly. So, so these days, organizations are more depending on web scraping rather than making some manual data extraction. Okay, so this is very important. Yeah. So, so what does web scraping do? It sends a request to web page. It's a kind of normal request we used to do. It's a get request or post request, some other request that is being sent to the server, okay, and then it retrieves HTML content. It may retrieve HTML content, it may retrieve XML content, it may retrieve JSON, okay. It depends on the site structure, what kind of data is there relying onto that particular server, okay. And then we can parse and collect the structured, unstructured data, okay. It could be text, it could be image, it could be link, it could be table, it could be like these kind of four things, okay. Web scraping are, these days it is being used for business intelligence, okay, price comparison, for market analysis, okay. It For these days you must have heard of RAG, okay, RAG model for large language model, okay. So in that very scenario also, web scraping is being employed, okay. So this is a sample code of web scraping. So I have written the same code here. Yeah, this is a sample code of web scraping. Okay, so this is page number 2. One second, I'll copy this URL for you all. So this is the same URL. Okay, this is the same URL that we were discussing. Okay, so you can see, like, what I have told you, like, you people will take 160 seconds, okay, 3 minutes. And how much time does a system will take, a bot will take? We call it as a bot, okay. So how much time will it take? It will take near about a second. See, it has taken 1.26 seconds, okay, and it has taken out all the entries. Now let's confirm whether the entry is correct or not. So first one is it, in her wake, okay. So if you go here and if you see first one, in her wake, okay, what is the price of it? 12.84 pound, and the price of it is same, it is in stock. Similarly, how music works, and similarly, so we'll check the last one. You can't bury them, okay. So what is the last one? You can't bury them all, okay. And this is the price, 33 pound, okay, and it is in stock. Similarly, if you make some changes, like for example, take page 3, okay, I know the structure of this site, that's why I'm making just page 3, okay. So if I'll run this code, yeah, so I run this code, and now I'll check, yeah. So slow states of collapse poem, okay. So let's see, slow states of collapse. The price is 57.31 pound, 57.31, and in stock. What I've shown you is a basic part of web scraping, okay. But web scraping is not this much easy these days. Previously it was very easy, and Google, Meta, Instagram, like Meta Instagram is same, LinkedIn, these were the key players who were doing web scraping initially, okay. So till now Google rely on this Google bot, Okay, and they used to scrape the data. Like for example, you enlist your website, then how does a Google get to know like this particular website is there? Okay, they are continuously scraping the data. Every now and then they are scraping the data. Okay, so this is the thing. But these days, companies are implementing some kind of restrictions for bots. Because why they are implementing restrictions? So the thing is, we are doing request. We are doing request directly to the server. Okay. Now think of extracting data, like think of extracting 10,000 data in 1 minute. So there would be continuously request would be sent to the server. Now think like this: there's a server, okay, and there's a website, and you are sending request. So if a human would be sending a request per second, how many requests a person can do? Hardly 8 or 10 requests, max to max. One person can do, okay. But a bot can send near about 200. I'm saying the minimal value, okay. So a bot can send 200 requests in 1 second. Now the thing is, the system that is being working as a website, okay, is not designed for this kind of request, this kind of extreme request, okay, or this kind of payload, okay. So what the system admin used to do, they used to identify like what kind of requests are coming, okay, who is sending this request. So they are identifying the IP these days. So so they'll directly get to know, okay, this is particular IP, the single IP who is generating traffic. So and it is generating traffic, 1,000 requests in 1 second. So it's not a human, so we should block this or we should check it up, okay. So for this very thing, what they are doing these days is they are implementing captcha. So you must have seen this captcha. This is very common. This is very common these days. Okay. Now what is captcha? Captcha is completely automated public Turing test to tell computer and human apart. This is a test to check whether it's a computer, it's a bot, or it's a human. Okay. So this is the first thing. So we can bypass this captcha though. This is a very basic thing. So I'll tell you this one first. How can we bypass this captcha? Then I'll tell you this one. How can we bypass this one also? So this is text kind of captcha. This can be bypassed through Tesseract. Tesseract is a library of Google. This can be used to convert this kind of images, this particular image to text. Though it is not 100% correct, but we can tune it to something, and we can get the output relevant to 80 or 90% success rate. Okay. The second one is CAPTCHA. CAPTCHA, these days there are two kind of CAPTCHA into the market: CAPTCHA version 2 and version 3. This is above one is version 2, where it will not ask you for this image, whereas this below one is the version 3. This can also be bypassed through some third party services that is available right now onto the internet. These are 2 CAPTCHA or death by CAPTCHA. Okay, you can implement this thing and you can bypass this CAPTCHA directly. Okay, now when I was saying like 1,000 requests in 1 second, okay, so how can a person mimic a human behavior and he or she will not get blocked? Okay, so for that, what we used to do, we used to take help of some third party vendors from where we used to buy the IPs. We call it proxy IPs. Okay, from that very proxy IPs, what we used to do, like we used to take those IPs, and in the request itself, we hide ourselves, we mask ourselves with that particular IP, and then we send the request. Okay, so what will happen? Suppose I have 100 IP, okay, 100 proxy IP, and if I'm sending right now, like in a second, I'm hitting 1,000 times. So 1,000 divided by 100, so 10 requests per second. Now I'm looking like a human, okay. So they'll not be able to catch me, okay. The second thing they used to the system admin used to do is like rate limiting. The same thing what I have said. Say rate limiting, they'll limit the rate. Okay, like in a second or in 1 minute, there should be kind of this kind of these many kind of requests should be done. So that is being tested from trial and error method. Okay, like what do they do? Okay, so this is captcha. The second is bot detection. There are these days there are so many sophisticated systems out there that used to detect the bot. So taking an IP address, rotating IP address, okay, this will not be the single solution for us to bypass these blockers. Okay, so for that there are multiple sophisticated system who are blocking us. The first one is Cloudflare, the second one is Datadog. Okay, these are very notorious bot detector. And what they used to do, they used to check the mouse hover. Since these sites are JavaScript based sites, okay, so they used to detect the mouse hover. If the pattern, even used to check the pattern of mouse hover. Okay, so if they check the pattern, whether the cursor movement is straight or it has some kind of hazy movement. Okay, once I say hazy movement, then it should not be relatively straight, though it should have some kind of zigzag kind of movement in between, because we move our mouse or we move our cursor in the same manner. Okay, so they used to identify everything. They used to identify the browser, what kind of browser it is being used, what is the behavior of the okay, is it using cookies or not, does it have kind of session or not. Okay, so this is very important part to check. Okay, now these behaviors are being tested and everything, still you will be caught. Now how you will be caught is they will be checking the system configuration along with the browser configuration. Now system configuration comes with the GPU, CPU, then again what kind of OS is being installed onto the system. These things are there onto the header. Okay, I'll show you. So suppose this is a scraper for Indigo Airlines. Okay, so here we are tracking the cargo that is being shipped from one place to other. Okay, so here if you see there is a header. Okay, so this header contains, you can see the user agent. Okay, then they'll check the operating system. It could be Windows, it could be Linux. Okay, then they'll also check the referrer from where does this request has originated. Okay, origin, referrer, everything, they'll check everything. Okay, there is one more term that is named as web RTC, that is web real time check. So there also they used to check many things. They'll check the CPU and GPU, everything. So like that they'll make a fingerprint. Now fingerprint makes a person identity, like it's a unique identity of a person. Okay, similarly these fingerprints are being made with the combination of these particular parameters other than IP address. Now they'll be easily uh, grabbing the person or grabbing the bot very easily. Okay, whether it's a bot or it's a person, though you are using IP and something. So for that we need to make different user agent. We used to make different user agent, then we used to make different referrer, different origin, OS. These things have been mentioned here into the header. Okay, and then we can bypass it relatively easy. Okay, the other thing, like in this code, scraper, yeah, pandas selenium, pandas data correction. Okay, so in this code we were not mentioning something like in request.get URL. Okay, but in the other code, see, if you see there's a header, there is a data, so this is the data. Okay, and this is header. So in this website they are implementing view state. This is a CSRF token. Okay, this CSRF token lies into the source code. Source code means if you go on to this site doesn't contain CSRF token. Okay, but most of the site, like this kind of site, airline site, they contain CSRF token. So that is there. So we used to take it. Okay, so like this we used to bypass this Cloudflare. Okay, now this is the other peculiar one. This is Data Dome. Okay, you must have heard of Iron Dome. So this is also been developed by Israeli company, and this is for protection of data. So a bot cannot enter the website unless and until it passes out this particular captcha. So in this particular captcha, you need to hold this thing and you need to drag it from here to here till the time you reach this puzzle to here. Okay, and it should be near about 98 to 99% accurate. So it too have bypass. These days there are numerous bypass available, and you can bypass it very easily, decoratively easy, I'll say. Okay. The other blockers are web structure changes. So in at the time of COVID, we were more uh, reclined, or we'll say we were more inclined towards the IT. Like for example, e-commerce domain. I'll give the example. Okay. So we people were not going to any of the retailer shop, though we were buying it through Flipkart, we were buying it through GeoMart, we were buying it through some other e-commerce portal, okay, Big Basket or something. So those sites were not being designed for that much of load. Okay, so what they did, meanwhile there was a traffic, they started revamping their own self. Okay, they changed their structure. Okay, many of the sites their structure got changed. So this is major challenge for us for web scraping. When the structure changes, how would a bot come to know like now the structure has changed? So what does the structure means? Okay, suppose you are you're writing a code. Okay, so this is your URL. This is response. Okay, what is the response? You're doing a get request and you're getting some kind of response here. Response dot content. Okay, now how would you extract the data? Suppose you need to extract a title, so you will write an XPath. Okay, XPath is a kind of location where that particular element resides. Okay, for example, this is a title, so title XPath is this thing. So I'll take this example and I'll show it to you first. Suppose, see, so this is the XPath. You can see like I'm searching here and it will start reflecting here. Okay, so this is the XPath. So there would be 20 XPath. You can see here there would be 20 XPath. Suppose I need to write the XPath for this. Okay, what I'll do here is like, okay, I'll check this thing where it is residing. Okay, this is double slash p contains price color. Double slash p it contains at the rate class price color. And see, this is the XPath. Okay, now if I'll search, there will be 20 entries. You can see 20 entries, and if I'll search again here, then so it is identifying the path. Okay. Similarly in stock. So we are writing it down. Okay. Now the structure has changed, so the XPath would not remains the same. In some cases it remains the same, but in the other case it is get changed. Okay. In some cases the URL get changed. In some cases the XPath get changed. Okay, so for that, what we used to do, we used to write an verification XPath. Now, what does this verification XPath means? This verification XPath means like those XPath which will not change, okay, unless and until the structure of site get changed. So suppose there could be a page, or there could be a page where there would not be any pagination or next button. Okay, so this cannot be a verification XPath. Okay, previous button. This cannot be a verification XPath. Okay, so what would be the verification XPath? Verification XPath could be all products. Verification XPath would be total results. Okay, so if there would be nothing, it would be reflecting zero results. Okay, but it will not be like this particular line would not be there. It would not be the scene. Okay, so for that very thing, we used to write verification XPath, and there we used to see whether that verification XPath exists onto this page or not. If that verification XPath doesn't exist, that means the site structure has changed. Now we need to write another code, okay, or we need to tweak our code, okay. So this is a website structure change. Then dynamic content loading. So whatever I have shown you here, it's for like we are not using any Selenium or Puppeteer or something, because these sites are not JavaScript based sites. Okay, these are not they'll not require any kind of mouse over movement or something. But in few of the sites, they requires JavaScript rendering to be done. Okay, so in that very site, we what we used to do is like we used to run it either on Selenium or on Playwright or on Puppeteer or something else. Okay. So I'll show you one example how the Selenium works. So this is a Selenium code. Okay. So I'll run this code first. So I'm not touching my screen cursor. So it will run by its own self. Now it will open up the browser. Okay, and it will go on to a specific page. Okay, like for example, it has gone to this particular page, and what it will do, see, it will take out the title name. Like I have written the XPath here, so it will take out the title name. Okay, similarly, if I'll make it to just take this as an example. Okay, I'll take out this thing, and then again I'll run my driver not get to this particular page. Since I extracted this thing, I should go here and then acha, time dot sleep, just to show you 5 seconds. Okay, sorry. So I'll run this code once more and see. So it will initiate the web driver. It will go on to this page. Okay, and now after 5 seconds, it will again change the page. Okay, like this, and like this we used to go on to different pages. Now page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5 kind of thing, and we used to extract the data from there. Okay, this is quite slower. It consumes a lot of RAM. Okay, so we don't usually prefer it unless and until the site is JavaScript rendering based site. Then we need to make some changes onto the code, and then we run this Selenium. Okay, so I'll tell you one scenario, like when I was scraping data of Naukri.com. Okay, so one of the client of mine has told me to scrape 8 lakh resume from Naukri.com, and they were having 24 hours of time. After that, their license would be like the Naukri.com will be discontinuing that particular product. Okay, so they reached out to me and they told me like, can we scrape this out? I said, yeah, we can scrape this out. So I initiated with this Selenium based approach, and that didn't work. Why didn't work? After 1,000 resume download, just 1,000 resume download, the system got rebooted, and that was not the local machine, though it was a server cloud-based machine that got rebooted. So and it consumed a lot of time. So what we did, like what I did here, okay, I used a request instead of Selenium. So that was yeah, that was like I used request with post request. Okay, and then I did the request. I downloaded all 8 lakh resumes and I handed it over to the client. Okay, and then at that point of time, no system reboot was done and things went like flawlessly. Okay, and it was been done within 6 hours. So yeah, so this is very important. Now, if you extract the resume, though it is not ethical, that's a HR company. That's why they were extracting. So if you extract resume kind of thing, so you'll have tons of data. Tons of data means like you will have name, contact number, email ID, person age, person qualification, person job profile. You'll have tons of data about the person. Now think about those person's data could be utilized by bank. For example, credit card agencies would be using it. For example, HR department would be using it. Then again, these e-learning platforms would be using it. You can enhance your career with this thing. So how the data is important these days. Okay. Then rate limiting and throttling. I have already told you all this thing. Data passing and complexity. Yeah, this is very important topic. So it's not mandatory that this data would be coming as a string. Okay, this data could also come as a JSON. Okay, this data could also come as something else. Okay, so once I say JSON, though it would not be a JSON. Okay, it will be a kind of garbage value inside that JSON. Now you need to clean that data. Unless and until you'll not clean that data, you'll not be able to extract that the key and value pair of that particular JSON. Okay. So for that you need to do some manual work again. But once you are done with manual work, and then you can definitely you can extract the data very easily. Okay, so for that you need to do slicing. You need to replace them some junk values. Okay, and then you can definitely you can extract the data. For that you can use split, replace, regex. Okay, regex is a regular expression. Okay, so preparing data for analysis. So raw data must be cleaned and structured to ensure accurate analysis. Okay, so for accurate analysis, the data should be structured. Okay, if it is not structured, then it will not work properly. The machine learning model would not work properly. AI would not work properly. Okay, suppose in a column uh, of age, few of the entries are integer, few of the entries are float, few of the entries are string. Okay, so system would not be able to identify like how can I identify these things, how can I make it regular. Okay, so it will not be able to give the proper output. So for that we need to think in the same way like a machine do. Okay, so for that the data should be very much structured. The first thing is this structured data. Okay, the second thing is removing duplicates. Okay, suppose in this there are two duplicates, Balker and identity. Okay, so if there would be duplicate value, then definitely it will consume time. First thing, the other thing, it will not generate perfect output. Okay, the third thing is handling missing values. Okay, so suppose at at some field, okay, there could be a some field like example age, make it age. Okay, 32, 31. Then Balkaran is again, this is not there. Okay, and then 32. Okay, so if there would not be anything, the system will be again throwing an error. Okay, there's nothing here. So what should a system do? So either we can uh, remove this thing, remove this particular entity. Okay, or we can place some mean value, median value kind of thing here. Okay, so this is handling missing value. We will deal this thing in the later slides. Okay, correcting data types, as I told you before also, data types is very much important. Okay, so let's see the example. So this particular method here, first thing I'll explain you, this particular method here is to remove the duplicates. Okay, so let's copy this code. Hmm, okay, remove duplicates. Okay, here is the duplicate one. Okay, so this method is already there. Duplicate. So I'll clean this thing first. Okay, and I'll run this thing. First thing first, I'll run this one. Read file. Okay, let's see what is there onto the file. So there are one, two, three, four entries. Okay, four entries are there, out of which one is duplicate. Okay, so I'll comment this out, then I'll run this particular method. Here we are removing the duplicate ones. Okay, see, we have to the duplicate value Balkaran is being removed. Okay, so there is simple method that we use here is like this is data frame. So what we are doing here is we are first thing is like we are reading a file. Okay, this is reading a file through pandas. Okay, and this file that is being read through pandas is being made as data frame. Okay, in that very data frame we are dropping the duplicate rows. Okay, whichever rows are duplicate we are just dropping it out. Okay, so this will give us more accurate result. Okay, and df dot head means like it will show from five from yeah top five elements from top one. Okay, you can use head, you can use tail. Okay, so tail will show you the bottom five. Okay, if you mention the entry like 10, so it will reflect 10 entries. Suppose mm, yeah, I'll copy it down. Sorry. Okay, so if I'll run this code once more, so it will give me only five results. See, one, two, three, four, five. If I'll make it df head 10, it will give me 10 results. Yeah, it will give me 10 results. Okay, if I'll mention, suppose at the tail part I'll mention something like new name, some new name we should add up. So take in Pankaj Kumar. Okay, that's something as the number, then Pankaj at the rate gmail gmail.com. Okay, and GC Hamirpur. Okay, so this is the bottom part. There are 13 entries here. Okay, if I'll run something like df print instead of print head, we'll we'll be writing tail 5. So it will yield us bottom 5 elements. Okay, see, Pankaj is there and these 5 entries are there. Okay, so this is something. Then correcting data types. So I'll give you example of here. Once again, data for correcting data types. Yeah, this is the code. Correcting data types. Okay, so I'll show you example here. Data correction. Yeah, so this is the code. Now there are two ways of making data frame. There are multiple ways, I'll say, but two ways. There are multiple ways of creating data frames. Okay, so here what we have done is like we have made a dictionary kind of thing. Okay, so into this dictionary there is name, age, salary, and join date. Okay, these are about the person details. Okay, Alice, age of 25, salary is 50,000, and his joining date is 1st of January 2020. Similarly for Charlie, it is 19th of July 2021. Okay, same thing is there. Okay, So, do you think the age should be a string? No, it should never be a string. Salary should be string? No, it should never be a string, okay? And date time should be a string. No. These things, if they are into a string, then definitely it will not yield us a better output, okay? Because we cannot add on, if you will be adding on a string plus a string, okay? If you are adding a string plus a string, so suppose A is equals to 25 and B is equals to, I'm just giving one example, okay, mathematical example. So if A plus B, C is equals to A plus B, okay, and then print A plus B, okay. So what would be the output? See, this is not like this is adding on something like 2556, 2556. So it will not work now. So for that, it should be either it should be integer or it should be float, okay, or yeah, these two things are important. Now we can define it integer 64-bit, integer 32-bit, okay. Salary could not be a string similarly, okay. Joining date could not be a string similarly, because we are not able to will not be able to identify on which particular date this person has joined, okay. If suppose I need to do some kind of operations, okay, onto database, okay, I'll not be able to do it because this is a string. But if it would be a date time stamp, so what I would have done is like I would check which person has joined this organization before 20 2021, okay. So there would be two entries. Similarly, which person has joined the organization before 2020, so there would be one entry like this, okay. So for that, we can do the correction. Okay. So what kind of correction? We can do the correction of data type. Okay. So this is a data type correction code. So what we are doing here is like we are importing the library first, pandas library. Then we are making a dictionary here. Okay. This dictionary will have the data. Okay. Now we'll be creating a data frame. Okay. With this dictionary, this is print statement. Okay, and this will print the data type, data frame data types, okay. Now df age, this particular column will have the operation. What the operation would be? Pandas to numeric, okay. Df age error coerce. So what this error would do is like this will, while converting this particular string to numeric field, okay, to numeric structure, okay, whatever exception will happen, okay, either it will either it will handle those exceptions, okay, or it will make it none, okay. So this will happen. So let's see what does this code do. This is for age, same for salary, and for joining date it is date time, okay. So let's run this code. Let's see. Previously, name was object, age was object, salary was object, joining date was object, data type was object. Okay. After correction, name was object, age was int 64, salary was int 64, and join date was date time. Okay. And this is the final output. Okay. You can also print this thing also. You can check this thing. Okay. See, here you will not be able to identify. Okay. But while doing input, you will be able to identify, or by checking this data type, okay, data frame data type, then only you are able to recognize what kind of data type is here. Okay, so this is very important. Cleaning the data, yeah, cleaning the data is very much important, as I told you before also. For suppose there is a JSON, okay, there is a JSON structure. Suppose, oh, okay, I'll give one example. There is some structured which is, okay, so this is a JSON. Consider this is very easy JSON. Okay, so if suppose by mistake there is question mark here, so will you be able to retrieve the data from here? For example, this is JSON. Yeah, suppose this is JSON. Okay, okay. Suppose take this as example. Okay, where it went, this one. Okay, so suppose you wish to read this particular dictionary. Okay, now this dictionary is having this along with it, or maybe something like this here. Okay, this here into the date time JSON and joining date. Okay, so will the system be able to convert it? Let's see. See, it is nat. Either it will give nan or it will give nat. Now this is not correct. So what we can do here is like we can remove this particular question mark. If we see the same kind of pattern, okay, onto some specific column, then we can remove it out or we can omit it out. For this, we can just use replace, or yeah, we can use replace or we can use regex expression. Okay, regular expression. So this can be done. Similarly, here in this code, we are using the same thing. For example, mm, suppose df features. This is not features. This is join date. Join date. Okay. Now, if I'll place something like this here and here also. Okay, let's see. Okay, my bad. See, it was pre-replaced to none. Joined it. Suppose this joined it contains this thing. See, it has removed all the extra, like these extra would be removed, okay, if it is not there. So like this, it we can clean it off. Okay, now this is done. Handling missing values. So we can handle the missing values by removing, okay, or by imputing it. So you have seen removing. So we have removed this none with the none, okay, or by imputing. Like you can implement the mean value, okay. Like for example, someone's age is missing, okay, out of 1,000 entry or out of 10,000 entry. So what we can do here is like we can implement a mean value or we can implement a median value or mode value, either of these three, okay. So this we can do, okay. And now transforming and normalizing the data, okay. So data transformation refers to the process of converting data into format that is more suitable for analysis or machine learning model, okay. It can involve various techniques such as encoding or categorical variables, scaling numerical values, okay, or applying mathematical transformation, okay. So there could be three types of standardized scaling, okay, transformation techniques. One is scaling, okay. The other one is standardization, and the third one is encoding, okay. So let's start with encoding first. Suppose we have a data, okay. We have a data with, yeah, this one, does this one have, no, yeah, we have a data, okay. So this data has color, okay, color and price. Now I wish to train my model, okay. Where is red, where is blue, where is green? Now you need to find it out, okay. So what the system can do, like there is only three entries here, or maybe like, yeah, there could be four, five, or anything. So what we can do here is like instead of mentioning at the red, blue, and green, we can transform it to different columns. Okay. So different columns means like red will have separate column, blue will have separate column, green will have separate column. Okay. And the value of red, wherever the value of color is red, then red will have 1 and rest all two will have 0 0. Wherever there would be blue, 1, rest all would be 0 0 kind of thing. Okay. So it would be kind of this, okay. This is price, okay, and here the color is red. So this is a kind of featuring. Now let's see. Yeah, yeah. So it is one hot encoding that we used to call, okay, converted, okay. The second one is scaling and normalization. Scaling refers to adjusting the range of numeric value to bring them into a specific range, such as 0 or 1, okay. This helps to eliminate any features with large value that might dominate the model training. Okay, if suppose model value is very high, okay, and computation time, then again the computation time would be definitely it would be more. Okay, so what we can do there is like we pre-process the data. So in pre-processing data, we use to define what is the minimum value and what is the maximum value. Okay, that, and then we implement the value within the range 0 and 1. For example, here, this is age, okay, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and this is salary, 50,000, 60,000, 70, 80, 90,000. Okay, so once we normalize this data, we see age is 0, salary is 0, because this is the base value and this is the ceiling value. Okay, so this is the base value, so it would be 0, ceiling value would be 1. Now we distribute it, like there are 5 entries, so we distribute it with 25. Okay, like for example 0, 25, 50, 75, there's 25 differences there. Okay, similarly in salary also. Okay, then there is one more, standardization. Standardization transforms the data to have mean of 0 and standard deviation of 1. If you see the standard deviation graph, it seems like there is a top, there is a hill, and then again there is a fall. Okay, so here also the center mean value. So see here. So if you derive the mean of this 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, like if you'll add on these all of things, okay, like 15, so it will come to near about to 35. Okay, and here if you'll take the mean, it will come to 70,000. So let's do it first. 25, 30, 35, 40. 175. Okay, 175 divided by, it will be divided by 5 entries. Okay, so once you divide it, 175 divided by 5, 3 and 5, it will come directly 3 and 5. Okay, so you can see that 35 is the mean value here. Similarly, if you calculate here also, if you calculate here also, 70,000 is the mean value. Now mean value will have, okay, mean value will have a standard, like it will have the highest point. Okay, standard deviation curve, in standard deviation curve, and the deviation towards the left, that means on the number line, deviation, if you deviate toward the left, then it will be having negative value. Okay, and on the right side it will have positive value. Similarly, so 50,000 will have minus 1.414. Okay, and similarly we have a deviation of this. Okay, we need to calculate, there's a formula of standard deviation that we need to implement here. Okay, so converting raw data, standardization is done, scaling is done, standardization is done. Okay, now converting raw data into format suitable for ML and AI model. Okay, so converting raw data into format suitable for machine learning or artificial intelligence model is crucial steps in data preparation process. This process ensures that data is consistent, clean, and ready for training model. It involves several transformations and encoding steps that helps bridging the gap between the raw data and unusable features. Handling categorical data, that I've already shown you, like one hot encoding method. Okay, like color, region. Okay, this will make it to binary columns. Okay, label encoding, converting each category into numeric label. Okay, so this is already shown. Okay, now feature engineering, creating new features for existing one can improve the model's accuracy. For example, deriving an age group features from person's age and creating a weekday, okay, features based on timestamp. Okay, so in age group we can like derive age group features for a person age, or creating a weekday features based on timestamp. So suppose you can make one more extra column based on the person's uh, like for example date of birth. Okay, so what is the date of birth? On which day does it comes? Okay, is he born on Monday, Tuesday kind of thing, or maybe joining date kind of thing? Okay, so that will add on the extra features. Okay, so on which day, or maybe you can take example of meetings. Okay, so on Monday there would be tons of meetings for any corporate employee. Okay, so you can even you can see it onto the data also, like on weekday how many meetings are there, even on if there is a meeting on weekend or not. Okay, so like this we can have a feature engineer. Okay, handling missing values, that we have already explained, like replacing missing values with mean, median, mode value. Okay, and then we can also remove the columns, rows or columns with excessive missing data. Okay, so whichever columns have excessive missing value, like we are implementing maximum mean value there, and so that is of no worth. Okay, that data is of no worth in that specific row or maybe on column, so we can omit it out. Okay, text handling, text handling can be done like we would be converting word to vector. Okay, these days you must have heard of vectorized database or vector database. Okay, so we are making clusters of words. Okay, and those words will have some kind of numeric value. Okay, so that will identify, like this is being used in large language model mostly. Okay, then again splitting the data. Data is split into training and testing data sets. Okay, so few data are being used for training purpose, and then the rest of the few are being used for testing data sets, like whether the output is coming correctly or not. Okay, which ensures the model can generalize well. Okay, so handling categorical data, this I have already explained, blue, green, red one. Okay, so yeah, this is all the session is about. So if you have any questions, you can ask.
Yes, participants, if you have any question, you can ask, please, or you can type in the chat box,
Yeah.
or even you can use the raise hand uh, feature.
Good evening, sir. I have a question.
Yeah.
Sir, as you have told us like about data extraction, so
Mm-hmm.
firstly, we need to do the data extraction. Only then we can implement that data using the help of AI and ML algorithms, right?
Yep.
And according to that basis, we can choose what particular algorithm we are like using or design for that particular data set, right, sir?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So
Thank you. Yeah.
so first thing first, like you need to have a data. Okay,
Yeah.
either you get it from Keras for training a model. Okay, if that particular data is not available, like for example, you wish to have a you wish to have a set of images. Okay, that is of a specific cell. Okay, that may not be there onto the KRS. Okay, like for example, for cancerous cell. Okay, T cells. So what you can do is like you can use Google search there, and in Google search you can use web scraping. Okay, and through that you can extract all the relevant result, and then you can, like you can train it with 100, 200, 300 samples by just watching it through. Okay, this is the correct format, now I should train it. So you'll train that thing, now you'll test it. So this can give you something a better idea about it. Okay, where the data is not available. This is just a layman example. Similarly, you can train AI model or ML model with this Flipkart data. Okay, so if I tell you, like there is a Flipkart website. Okay, and there is a product category named as mobile phone or maybe laptop. Okay, so there could be 10,000 or 15,000 entries. So that is predefined na, for us. So we can extract those data. So for that, what we can do is like we can extract the laptop name, then its configuration, then its screen size, and then what is the weight of that laptop, okay, what is the review of that laptop, how many review counts are there, and then we can train our system according to it, okay. So like this we can do data extraction, and that will be really helpful. So data extraction is the first part.
Okay, so thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, anybody else? I think Vinay Guleria has raised a hand. Anybody else? If anybody has some question answers or some queries regarding this session.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Myself,
yes, sir, please.
Vinay Guledia.
Yes, yes, please proceed.
Ma'am, is there any activities running in the background?
Activity running in the background means?
There is a link in of activity na, in the Google Meet.
I don't think so.
Ma'am, I'm getting a link there, and
No,
when
no,
I
no.
click
There
on
is
the
no
link,
any link. Kindly check your mobile phone. I have stopped the streaming now. No.
okay, sir. It is asking me to join the activity this time. And when I join the activity, I'm getting a cooking video there.
I don't
Yes,
think he
participant.
is
Any
cooking
other question?
anything.
It might be due to his smartphone. Participant. Any other question, please?
Yes, sir, I have a one question again.
Yeah.
Sir, like you have told us, like web scraping is basically like we have a lot of data. Suppose these days we have audio, video, pictures.
Mhm.
There are a huge amount of data that any like for example Instagram or Twitter or other social media platforms are generating. So
Mhm.
in this case, we are basically categorize that particular data in different streams. Like for example, there is some audios, so we can like creating a data set for the audio basically, and for the images, or we are separating them, like that is all about the web scraping, or just collecting the whole data like into a database.
Web scraping is collecting the data like in automated way. Okay, you can collect anything. You can connect audio. You can collect video. You can collect text. You can collect anything. Okay, it totally depends on you. Like once you extract the data, where you are keeping it out. Okay, you are keeping it on S3 bucket. You are keeping it on your local machine. You are separating it into different folders. Like this is audio file. Okay, this is audio file location, and you will be placing it onto the database. Okay, this is image. Okay, this image file location is this, and you are storing it onto the database. Okay, like this you can store the data. So you can store data in any format, whichever is there, like whichever data that is coming onto the website. Okay, and yeah, that's how we used to scrape the data. And the other thing, I'll give you one example. Like you can also read the data. One of the application of web scraping is like these days you must have seen like the movies, pirated movies are getting uploaded onto YouTube. Okay, and after 3 4 hours, or within 3 hours, or within 1 hour, it is getting blocked. Now YouTube is not checking those videos. Okay, there are other agencies which are checking these videos whether this particular movie is there or not. So what they are doing is like they are making a unique ID. Like for example, you must have seen some of the videos of movies. Okay, in between you will see there is some random song. Okay, some kind of Chhattisgarhi song, or maybe Haryanvi song, or maybe South Indian song is being implemented in between streaming. Okay, why it is being done? It is been done to hide the uniqueness of that particular video and audio. Okay, so what web scraping used to do is like it used to check whether that particular unique value resides there or not, and what is the percentage of it. Okay, and like this they are implementing. So this is again a different domain. So web scraping is right now implemented in each and every domain. I'll say it's in pharmaceuticals, it is medical, it is in background screening, it is in hospitality, it is in e-commerce, then again transportation, logistics, everywhere. It's, yeah. So you can extract data, like data. It helps you to extract data. Now it depends on you where you're keeping it. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Sir, the data scraping and web scraping is the same, or is like that we have to read the text file and CSV file is different, and we have to taking the text and the images from the web is different.
See, web itself says it's a web scraping. Okay, like you're scraping data from web. Okay, data scraping could be you're scraping data from text file. You're scraping data from somewhere else. Like for example, there's XML file that is residing onto your local machine. Okay, so data scraping could be scraping data which is residing on your local machine or somewhere. But web scraping is for mostly for web data. Okay, you need to go onto the web and then you can extract that data.
So how we categorize this type of the web data, because in the web they have the so many of the XML tags, there are the so many of HTML tags, and
Mm-hmm,
inside of that different type of the data is contained by the web
mm-hmm,
application.
mm-hmm.
So how we pass the particular exact value to our web crawler to scrap this particular data from the web page.
Yeah, for that we need to write XPath that I have shown you. Like XPath is the location of particular element. For example, if you wish to extract price of a product, okay, or maybe key features of a product, okay, so it will have the XPath there, okay. You need to write it down. So once you have a command on XPath, then only you can extract the data. Okay. These days there are some ready-made tools are also available, like for example, Beautiful Soup. Okay. So
Yes.
there also you can mention the tag name. Okay. But Beautiful Soup do have the limitation. Once you'll be into the nested tags, okay, like there is a tag inside that a tag, then again there would be a tag, and then again there would be a tag kind of thing. So their Beautiful Soup will not perform as desired. Okay, so for that very thing you need to write XPath. So XPath is the best way. You can use CSS also, CSS path, XPath, and then Beautiful Soup is also there. So there are numerous ways that you can identify element. Okay.
So, so hi, sir. Sometimes we are using the Selenium for the scraping. So how the Selenium is the work as we pass the XPath in a Python.
So you mean to ask like could you please repeat your question once?
Sometimes we are using the Selenium library in the access the web scraping, no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is the same like that we passing the this X path,
Yeah.
or they have to some different work.
No, no. So XPath is similar to, like for example, you are writing dictionary. So format of dictionary would remain same. Okay.
Okay.
So similarly, XPath will remain same whether you are using Selenium, whether you are using request, okay, or using something else. Okay. If you desire to have XPath from some specific DOM structure, then definitely you can extract it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Uh, Anybody else? I think it was a very informative and very extremely insightful session on data extraction and pre-processing. Uh,
Thank
if
you,
you
ma'am.
don't have any queries, then can we say formal thank you to Mr. Shahraan Hussain for sparing his valuable time and plus bringing some very informative session on data extraction and pre-processing. So thank you very much, sir, for
Thank you, ma'am.
being part of this faculty development program. And your session, I think, if I'm going through the chat box, the comments, they are very, very much flattering. They are saying that it's very informative session. Most of the comments that I am seeing on my screen,
Yeah.
they all are adding some positive vibes to this session. So thank you once again. We would like to join you further for another
Sure.
PPs in future. Another collaboration will be desired. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, I'll be sharing my PPT with Pankaj sir. I'll be including
Please
my
do share
LinkedIn
it.
ID there. You people can join me there. Okay, and if you
Okay.
have any queries regarding web scraping or data extraction, you can reach me out. Okay, I'll help you out. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining my session.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Shahraan sir, can you share the code also?
Sure, I'll be zipping up the code. Okay, and I'll be sharing it to you all.
Of course. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.